Whew, all right. Hey, everybody. Holy Lord, it's a hot one today, baby. Holy Lord. Well, today we're doing a little walk up the Bowery, baby. We're going to be walking up all the way to the Bowery, the whole thing. We'll be talking about all the history here, tons of it. It's hot. Phil, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, nice booming voice. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you so much for asking. Before we start, like and subscribe, get that out of the way so you can sit back and eat your quinoa or whatever the hell you're eating, and like and subscribe. Get that out of the way. And oh yeah, I already said that. And also Patreon. Check out Patreon. That's a big one. That's how I fund these things, baby. That's how I keep my AC functioning. All right. Well, whatever, man. You ready to do this, Phil? Let's walk.
Yeah, let's do it.
Come on. Follow me. So today we're walking the Bowery. Right now we're at the start of it down in Chinatown. I'm going to show you guys a couple things over here. Let's walk so you can see some stuff. It's a little dark.
I know, yeah.
Phil, come on.
Actually doesn't look too bad, but...
Good. All right, so check it out.
Beautiful shot.
All right, take it easy, Phil. That's enough out of you. So I wanted to show you a couple of things. First of all, there's 18. That's the Edward Mooney House. That's the oldest house on the Bowery. So by the way, the Bowery is one of the oldest streets in New York. This was basically one of the thoroughfares out of the colony of New Amsterdam back in the day in the 1600s. But you have 18, that's the oldest. It's the Edward Mooney House. Next to it you have 16, which by the way, this is an interesting fact. I don't know if you knew this, Phil. That's where a man named Samuel O'Reilly, supposedly that's where they patented the electric tattoo needle.
Really?
That's right. And did you know this? Tattoos were actually illegal in New York until 1997.
Wow.
Yeah, they made them illegal in like 1961, I believe, and they weren't made legal again until 1997.
Was there a reason they were made illegal?
I think it was because back in the day, tattoos were like, it was like for sailors and prostitutes.
Yeah.
It's like now every marketing exec has 10 of them. But back then it was like a thing that they associated with like the riffraff,
Yeah.
Anyways, look, we're walking through Chinatown so you can see a lot of the little architecture and stuff. So interestingly, Bowery gets its name from the Dutch word for farm. Now I did a video on the Bowery, you can check that out with all the history and stuff.
Sick plug.
Thank you, Phil. But we're just kind of show you a little bit. You want to get a shot up a little bit there, Phil? Mm-hmm. You can see the Bowery going north. This is like a north-south thoroughfare. And the whole idea behind the Bowery, why it's called the Bowery, is because it's the Dutch word for farm. Oh, by the way, the Edward Mooney House used to be, we were talking about Edward Mooney House down there. Used to also be you can see it's like a nice little, they just fixed it up. It was really, really all covered in scaffolding for a long time. But it was also a, gosh, why am I blanking? It was a tavern, obviously. A lot of taverns. And was where a famous guy named Chuck Connors, he was called the mayor of the Bowery. That's where he used to hang out. An interesting fact, he used to do like slumming tours back in the day. This is like in the 1800s. By the way, the Bowery was like the worst possible neighborhood, the worst possible street, had like a real terrible reputation, It's like a Skid Row. It was a Skid Row for a very long time. And he used to give tours of the neighborhood and call it slumming tours. It was pretty smart, actually. He would like set up like scenarios on his tours and make himself look like a hero. Like he'd be showing people around, and he'd like pay people to, pretend to rob them or something, and he would like be the hero.
That is
pretty genius.
That is absolutely insane.
Pretty genius, though. and also funny. He would also take people to like all the worst parts of the city, and since he knew everybody, they would like put on a show for him.
Oh boy.
So it's kind of like, you ever heard The Ride?
Yeah.
It's kind of like The Ride, but like with opium dens. Yeah, it was kind of a similar thing.
Oh, geez. Don't give the gentrifiers any ideas, please.
Yeah, no, that's true. So anyways, we're going to be crossing here. By the way, Phil, did you hear it? So right now we're at Canal. This is Canal Street in Bowery.
Yeah. So
Citizen Savings Bank, really pretty. Yeah, very nice. Look at that, 1922. Very beautiful architecture there. Back when they used to make buildings to make people feel good, but also to inspire confidence. Like a bank, you want to have confidence to invest your money there.
Yeah, you want a place that's like regal. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
Exactly. But I'll tell you this: I don't give a crap. Give me a good interest rate. I don't need a friggin' fancy building. I'll take it out of a shed. Better than that. It's fine. I don't have to pay for that. But it's a nice building, the HSBC. But here is the entrance to the Manhattan Bridge. Very pretty there. Carrere and Hastings, huh? Oh, wow. They were the architects of the New York Public Library. Let's just get a good shot, like here, of Canal Street.
Looks like a storm's a brewing over there.
I know. I got my umbrella ready to go. But also there, you have the Buddhist temple there. Check it out. The Buddhist temple there used to be a theater. And when the neighborhood started to fall into disrepair, it became a porn theater. And now it's a Buddhist temple.
There you go.
There you go.
Two things that makes the most money, religion and the other stuff.
All right, take it easy. A lot of cynicism there. But also very, very different. There you go, that's down Canal. You can see the Jenga building there, 56 Leonard and Tribeca. But yeah, this is all, oh, by the way, did you hear there was an accident here yesterday?
No way.
Yeah, there was a woman was tearing down the bridge, came out here, hit 2 people and killed them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, this was yesterday. And some guy, Good Samaritan stopped the 2 women who were in the car from running away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. People in New York, they drive nuts.
They drive nuts. They were just tearing down, and then they hit a police car, and they hit 2 people and killed the 2 people. Yeah, pretty nuts. How are you doing though, Phil?
Doing great. Doing great. Went to the Mets game. They lost.
All right. Well, that's something. You went today?
No. It was at Friday.
Oh, okay.
Great time though.
Gotta love
New York.
How you doing?
Nothing like New York sports culture.
No, you're right. Shame about the Knicks, but looks like they're making some moves for next year, huh?
Yeah, eventually.
All right,
We'll
so
see how they do.
real quick,
Yeah.
Bowery, we're digressing.
Give me some
here.
fun facts.
All right, I will. So
I'm
first
out.
of all, Bowery, I was saying the Bowery, the Dutch word for farm, Bowery or whatever, Bowery, it's spelled a little different.
Yeah.
Put it there so you can see it. But it was called that because it made its way, slide over here, it made its way to all the farms up in what is today like the East Village area. And in fact, one famous person's farm was Peter Stuyvesant. That's where he retired to. He was the peg leg director general of the Dutch West India Company. I've said this a billion times.
Of course.
You remember him, right?
Yeah.
Phil,
Peg leg director general. Man.
I just said that, but
Who wouldn't remember that guy?
Anyways, he was the guy who basically whipped the colony into shape before the British took it over in 1664. And when they did, he basically retired to his farm. Not so bad, Guess it's not a bad life, but that's what he did. And they named it the Bowery because it went out to all the farms for a long time. And in fact, we just passed 50 Bowery. If you look down, see that big hotel there with the roof deck. That hotel is actually on 50 Bowery, and that's where the Bull's Head Tavern used to be located. It was very famous. Really? Yeah, very famous tavern because it was the oldest one in the city. Been there forever. In fact, that's where they say George Washington drank on his way back into the city after the Revolutionary War.
Wow.
So this is 1783, Evacuation Day is what it's called. And it was when Washington was coming back triumphantly into the city to basically boot the British out. Evacuation Day. And he drank there. He stopped there and had a drink. Probably like a virgin strawberry daiquiri or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Real tough guy.
Yeah, a Gideon's hard lemonade or something. Yeah. But yeah, he stopped there. It's like a big deal. The Bull's Head Tavern, lots of taverns on the street, and actually right next to it, if you look down a little bit, you can see the hotel. That's 50. Right next to it was 46 through 48. Very important. I didn't stop to show it to you there because it's not there anymore. Okay, but it's called the Bowery Theater. This dates to like 1829. Gigantic theater. There's like 3,000 people. And this is what the neighborhood was kind of famous for. It's famous for all the theater and like shows and stuff. And it was where the birthplace of like, things like vaudeville here. And remember, in the especially early on, theater was kind of like a democratizing thing.
It was.
It wasn't for the hoity-toity.
Nope.
It was for everybody. And they would mix. And it was here on the Bowery that they mixed because eventually the Bowery got overtaken by Broadway as theater, but it was theater for the fancy people on Broadway. It was always theater for the, the riffraff here. Even though at the beginning it was theater for everybody. So lots of famous people started out there. There was one of the big scandals was shortly after it opened, there was a ballerina who came and scandalized the entire city because she wore dancing tights. Yeah,
oh.
That was it, and everyone was in an uproar. It was a huge thing.
Scandalous.
I know. And people would really freak out if they saw the yoga pants at a Whole Foods.
I know, right?
On a Saturday.
Boy, they'd lose their minds.
But yeah, it was basically, also tap dancing. I believe the man's name was William Henry Lane, who introduced kind of tap dancing. He mixed the Irish jig with like different African American dances, and he was kind of the pioneer.
Can I ask you, Tom,
Yes.
if there was If you could live in any era in the Bowery, what era would you want to
Well,
live
I mean, in the Bowery, it's pretty obvious. That would be through the 1800s, obviously, I think. I mean, that was when it was like its thing. So, by the way, keep in mind, 1878, all of this was covered by elevated railway. There was an elevated railway going everywhere we're walking right now.
Wow.
So that's a little aside. Yeah, probably, I don't know, man, mid-1800s. Remember, like, the Bowery was like, this was like gangs of New York.
Yeah.
That's what took place here, you know? So it was like all the gangs and the Dead Rabbits, which was a real gang, the Bowery Boys. And also remember, like, there was a lot of, it was very informal back then. Like, we think of like the NYPD, the FDNY, all that stuff. Those things didn't really exist yet in the mid-1800s. So they were like, you know, volunteer firefighters.
Yeah, I heard firehouses used to compete with each other.
Not just compete, they used to fight each other.
Yeah.
They used to fight, and they would actually recruit people based on how good of fighters they were. So because a big part of it was, if there was like a fire alarm, you had to rush to the spot and be able to claim the job.
Yeah.
So if two got there at the same time, how do you think they're going to decide that?
They're going to fight. Yeah.
They're going to fight.
That's so interesting.
Crazy. And you had like kids would be like associated with the firehouses because they would like cover the fire hydrants so the other group couldn't see it.
Oh wow.
And stuff like that, and like, you know, so there's all kinds of little. Let's show you this too. Check it out. The two banks here. There you go. Bowery Savings Bank. This is also the site. There's two banks here. There's another one, Bowery Savings Bank, the one next to it, but the one there used to also be called the Butchers and Drovers Bank. So there were like all kinds of banks on the street because the immigrants, the people who came here, they had to store their money and all this stuff. And remember, you couldn't do online banking. Hello. So you needed a bunch of banks to take care of all the money that was coming through here and people. So you had your Butchers and Drovers Bank was replaced. You have the Bowery Savings Bank. The Butchers and Drovers, that was the name of the bank. Pretty cool name.
Nice. Yeah, it is.
Here, can I use my Butcher's Visa, please?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all right there. So you had banks. You had a lot of, like I was saying, theater. Big
Theater.
here. I'm going to talk some more as we keep going. The Miners Theater is actually not too far from here as well. That was a Miners Theater on the street. Was actually where they invented the vaudeville hook. You know, like that. You ever seen like Looney Tunes?
Yeah.
That's where they invented it, supposedly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Supposedly, like if you were really sucking on stage, they just pull the hook. So just imagine it's like a real life thumbs down
Oh my
on a
gosh.
video or something. So let's cross here.
Yeah, people complain about cyberbullying. It used to be so much
Yeah.
worse.
Well, at least you could see your bully in real life.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
Check it out here to the left. So this is a hotel. You can keep walking here.
And now it's the So Hotel.
Yes.
I do know that.
But this hotel here, actually, it's been the longest running hotel in New York City, and it wasn't always called the So Hotel, obviously. It used to be called the Occidental Hotel here on the Bowery, and it was like the big spot here.
Oh, wow.
Look at it, you can see it's an old little building. Mm-hmm. But, you know, people like, like Al Davis, governor of New York, who ran for president.
Oh, wow.
And got his ass handed to him.
Al
Pretty bad.
Davis.
Yeah. Who else?
Big celebrity.
No, I'm sorry, not Al Davis. Al Smith. Sorry, Al Davis. I think was the owner of the Raiders.
Oh, okay.
I think. But no, Al Smith. Sorry, Al Smith. And then who else? Teddy Roosevelt stayed there.
Really?
But
Okay.
the big name there is.
Lead with Teddy Roosevelt next time.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm trying to educate. All right. What do you want me to freaking? We can talk about Abraham Lincoln this whole time too. But no. What was I going to say? Big Tim Sullivan was the name there to remember it here as well. Big Tim Sullivan was like the guy from the Bowery. So remember, on the Bowery, the people who were popular and famous or whatever, a lot of times were saloon owners. That's how you got started. Like you would get to know everybody in the neighborhood. That's how you made a name for yourself. Then you would run for office.
Oh, wow.
And that's kind of what he did. He was a boxer, real tough guy. And you know, and they didn't always win the elections fairly. That was kind of a part of it. In fact, they would like stuff ballot boxes. They would intimidate people into not voting, all kinds of stuff. But he became a very famous guy in the neighborhood, Big Tim Sullivan, and he used to operate out of the hotel. So you can take a look down the street. There's Bowery, there's the Occidental Hotel, and here we are at Delancey. And then over here is Kenmare, which Big Tim Sullivan pushed to have renamed as Kenmare when it was expanded out. Because Kenmare is from Ireland, and he had roots there. So anyways, yeah, Big Tim Sullivan, big famous name. He actually was the one who passed what was called here in New York the Sullivan Act, which had to do with outlawing unlicensed weapons in New York.
Oh, wow.
And what's funny is the reason he did it wasn't because he was some kind of altruist trying to save everybody. He did it because he wanted his enemies, who didn't have access to the police, didn't have access, to be screwed.
Yeah.
And to have like a pretext to get all their guns and stuff. So kind of funny.
Clever guy.
Smart guy, huh?
Is he responsible for Sullivan
out.
Street?
I don't think so, no. That's a different Sullivan. But that's, if you look down, you got the other bridge, that's the Williamsburg
Yep.
Bridge. Here, let's cross. The Bowery Ballroom over there. See that little spot there? That's the Bowery Ballroom, that little...
Been to a lot of good shows there.
That's right. I put on a couple shows there, actually.
Yeah.
Here. This is really loud. Let's cross here.
Yeah, let's go over this way.
And it's scaffolding. So, Delancey is actually named after James Delancey Jr., who I've talked about in other videos as well on the Lower East Side. He's a very important name in the Lower East Side because he was one of the big landowners. Him and Henry Rutgers, if you know the school Rutgers, they were like the two main owners in the Lower East Side.
Oh, wow.
And James Delancey Jr., I've said in other videos, he was a loyalist. He was loyal to the British. Boing, what an idiot. Uh-oh.
Nerd.
Yeah, exactly. Loser. Well, he left. He left after the revolution, and his land was basically taken by the city and was kind of parceled out and stuff. Here you have the old, once again, bank. Here you have the old Germania Bank.
Yep.
So the old Germania Bank, now it's a Supreme with a line of people in front.
Yep.
This is a cool story. The old Germania Bank so this was built, obviously 1800s or whatever, pretty building. But in the 1960s, a man named Jay Mizell, I've told this story, and I think we did a Spring Street video. We did a Spring Street video, Phil.
Yes, we did.
This man named Jay Mizell bought this building for like $190,000. Look at this freaking building. It's huge. It's like a beautiful bank building. There's like vaults in it, the whole thing.
Insane.
He bought it for $190,000. And he sold it in 2014 for, I think at the time it was not disclosed the price, but it was around like $55 million. Do the math.
Crazy.
That's a pretty good return on
And he
investment.
just lived there with his family, too.
Yeah, he lived there with his family. He lived only, there's like 5 or 6 floors on this thing.
Yeah.
He lived
He
on
just
one
lived with
floor
his
with his family. He had a whole floor for his photography. He's a photographer. He had like, he could go into, there was a room where women would go in to open their safe deposit boxes and like put their jewelry on and stuff. And he just had that room with like couches and stuff. All these
That's
cool,
crazy.
yeah, pretty cool. So let's cross, get the hell out. Actually, let's keep going.
And call me crazy, but isn't that the same corner
You're
where
crazy.
23 Skidoo?
No, it's not.
No?
You are crazy. I'm sorry, you're crazy. That's 23rd Street.
23rd?
23rd Street and Broadway. So I wanted to show you a couple of things here too. Now there's a couple things. One, you may start noticing, I'll show you them as we go, but you'll start noticing like a lot of kitchenware, retail and stuff, not retail,
Yeah,
wholesale.
a lot of restaurant wear.
Yes, that's
type
what this
stuff.
is what you'd get here. That was a lot of that here as well. But also, you have a couple buildings here that are very important. Over here to the right, you get a nice shot of that, Phil. This one right here. This building there to the right.
Gotcha.
See it? So that's the old Bowery Mission. The old Bowery Mission, and then here behind you, this one here, this was the YMCA.
Oh, wow.
This used to be the YMCA. Not the YMCA of the, get a shot of that again. So it was, that was the Bowery, it still is the Bowery Mission. Now keep in mind that this was so because this was the Skid Row, and it's been that for a while. Remember 1878, you had the elevated railway come over here. Because of that, you had a lot of, drunks and stuff. In fact, there's a great movie called On the Bowery, where it's basically like, what's it called, like cinema verite? Is that what it's called? You're a big film buff, right, Phil?
Yes, I am.
You ever heard of cinema verite?
I've heard of it, but to be
That's
honest with you, I don't know the term.
What it's basically when you film in the, it's basically when you film in the actual like real life of the place. So if there's like people out, if there's like whatever, you keep that in the movie.
Okay.
And so, for example, in that one, they did. In that movie, they did one here in the Bowery, and you can see the entire like street and people, and hear the conversations. And they would film in the middle of these bars and stuff. It's very cool. And they actually used 2 of the Bowery bums as their like main characters.
Wow.
Yeah. This is 1950.
Interesting.
Anyways, yeah. So that's 1909. That was the Bowery Mission. Then 1885 was the YMCA back there.
And when did the
Look,
new
you start
museum
seeing,
come in? Do you know?
What's that? Check it out. Look, you see here all the pizza ovens.
Yeah.
Yeah, refrigerators.
All the wholesale stuff.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's a new museum, by the way.
Yeah, I know they're
well, it's closed right now.
redoing it.
Yeah, they're redoing. I think they're opening. Supposed to open this year, I thought. It's a pretty cool place. So over here, if you look to the right here, this is all Lower East Side now. And then over this way would be the kind of Soho-ish, Nolita area. Mm-hmm. Starting to get fancy around here. You see
a lot of Whole Foods.
A lot of Whole Foods. Yeah. All right. More. You can see like slicers. There's a.
Mm-hmm. And if you go across Houston, there's another wholesale bartending, store as well too.
Yeah. There's a bunch. So also, by the way, we're near where what was called McGurk's Suicide Hall. I believe it was 295 Bowery. You feel rain? You feel that? I felt a little raindrop. McGurk's Suicide Hall. That was the name of the freaking bar.
Wow.
Because there was it had like this reputation of a lot of times ladies of the night would go there and commit suicide in the back.
Jeez.
Yeah. They would supposedly they would take a shot of carbolic acid. That'll do it. That'll do it. You really need a chaser for that.
Yeah,
Get some
right.
pickle juice or something. But
I like mine on the rocks.
here, let's get.
Yeah, let's maybe get under a little bit of.
I told you it was going to rain. Phil didn't believe me.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Here, let's get into this thing. But I think this should pass quick.
Yeah, I think so.
Here, hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna grab
Yeah,
it. I think I have an umbrella here. Wait, you don't have one, do you?
No.
I told you to bring one.
You were right. I couldn't find one too. I don't even have one.
Here, just hold off for. You want to? Here, hold off for a second. We're gonna continue this in a second. All right. Well, that was nice. We had to wait for the rain to stop. We're actually like this is 7 hours later. There we are. We're gonna cross Houston here, but we're still on Bowery. Check it out over there. Point over there, Phil. See that? That's the Bowery Houston Community Garden.
Really?
So keep in mind that these things. Remember, this neighborhood was kind of dumpy. One of the things they did was they created, with like the vacant space, you make things like that community garden. You see all the trees and stuff.
Yeah, I've actually walked past that place.
It's nice.
Really nice.
Yeah. And then you can see the massive development going on. There's like the Avalon Bay, I think is what that one's called.
Not as pretty.
No, not as pretty. It's gigantic. Kind of crazy to think. If you look down, you can see some of like the hotels and stuff like that are being built on the Bowery now, which is kind of wild to think about. Considering this was like the worst part of the city in a lot of its history. So this is Houston, by the way. This is where the grid of New York begins. Like the 1st Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street. We've talked about this a million times. It was implemented in 1811. The commissioner's plan was finished in 1807, implemented in 1811, and then the streets start numbered.
And it's Houston, not Houston.
That's right, Phil. You remembered that at least. Good Lord, it only took us 5 years to get that one in your head.
I tried.
Do you? Do you, Phil?
So hard.
Do you try? I sometimes wonder. But yeah, so check it out. You see down Houston here. And that way too. See there? Good, that way. So yeah, we're crossing Houston. So that community garden was built in 1973. Remember, that was like peak tough times, let's call them that, for this neighborhood. In fact, we're going to walk by CBGB, or what used to be CBGB, here in a second. But you can see on that fence, you'll see, I'll show you when we walk by it. There's this group called the Bowery Alliance. A friend of mine named David Malkins, great, he runs it. And he's gone to a lot. I actually went with him a couple times. And you talk to like the businesses to put up these posters in the window to tell people about the history of the neighborhood. So there's a bunch of the businesses here, they'll have a poster saying what used to be there. I'll show you one. There was one over there, but I'll show you one on this side. It's pretty cool that they do that. But it's funny, we would go to some of the businesses and ask them, and they'd be like, get the hell away from us. Leave us alone. Oh, hold on a second, Phil. Your bag's open.
Oh my gosh, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving. But as this neighborhood's gotten fancier, so check it out, look at this. See that? 315 Bowery? Mm-hmm. So that used to be CBGB.
Really?
That was CBGB. 315 Bowery was CBGB. Late 60s, it was opened by this guy named Hilly Crystal. And it was called Country Bluegrass Blues. OMFUG, and other music for upstanding gormandizers, or upscale gormandizers, one of the two. And it was meant initially to be like bluegrass instead of country, but what happened was at the time there were all these people like doing their own shows and stuff, DIY shows, and he saw that that's what people wanted, so he turned it into like, you know, a place where you can put on your own shows and stuff.
Nice.
I'll show you a couple of things though, check it out. This is so you see the mural there. And then straight ahead there.
Brains, yeah.
Yeah, and then straight over here you have the straight on shot of what it used to be. You can see a little awning. Not really, you know, it's a fancy, you know, store. You pay $300 for a pair of pants, but
Barbados.
Yeah,
everybody loves it.
But yeah, it closed in 2006. That was a big scandal. But yeah, it's where like the Ramones, you know, Talking Heads.
Yeah, Blondie.
Blondie. Yeah, I did a video on. I think I covered that in the Bowery video. One of the two. I covered it in some of the videos. But yeah, very famous. So what I was saying was like one of the reasons it became such a thing was because it was offering this DIY space for people who wanted to put on their own shows. So at the time, the Mercer Art Center. Have you heard of the Mercer Art Center? So
yes.
that was on Broadway. And in the TV show Vinyl, there was a part where the building collapses. I don't know if you ever saw that show. It was okay.
Yeah, it was all right. I watched 1 or 2 episodes.
But the building collapses, and that was actually based on a real thing. That building, the whole thing collapsed. And there was like, you know, there was rock shows there. Like the New York Dolls got their start there. And so when that happened in 1970, a lot of these bands who relied on that were looking for a place.
Oh, wow.
And so that was one of the places, and it just kind of took off. Check it out, Bowery Lane Theater. Another bank. Oh, look at that. There's another little theater. Art. How about that? Frank Langella and Bernadette Peters got their start at that theater.
And it's now the Drake store.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Drake owns that?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
October's very own.
That guy just won't go away, will he? So we're Great Jones Street. So this is called Great Jones Street because a guy named Jones deeded his land to the city to be used, and they were going to, on the condition that they name a street after him.
Nice.
But there was already a Jones Street, and it was actually a relative of his.
Oh, wow.
So he's kind of like, all right, well, just, you know, I don't know, name it Great Jones. This is the Great Jones Street.
The better Jones.
Exactly, pretty much. So once I was saying too, remember this was Skid Row. All kinds of like things used to happen here, as you can imagine.
Yes.
But they used to have
unsavory things.
Unsavory things. That's right, Phil. But one of the things they'd had different ways, like you could live or stay on this. So flop houses, for example. You heard the term flop house.
Yes. Yeah.
That was a place where you would pay for just a space on the ground, like to chalk outline like 4x6 or whatever.
Wow.
And you paid money for that. All right, we get it.
There's an emergency. Yeah.
All right, come on. So yeah, that's what flop houses were. You also had things like They called them barrel houses. And you would go and you would pay basically to put your mouth up to a barrel of beer and just like, all right, like a cake stand pretty much.
That's actually kind of great.
Yeah, that was like a thing.
Disgusting, but
pretty
great.
disgusting. And then there were other things called, they called them doggeries. Doggery was this is messed up. They would actually like go around, it was like the lowest of the low kind of bar, and they would go around and they would find like discarded kegs and alcohol and stuff and combine it. And like put stuff in it to like try to clean it or whatever. And then you pay for that. Pay very little.
That's so nasty.
That's right, Phil. But you can see we're kind of coming up towards the end of Bowery, the Bowery
Barrel
here.
of backwash.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was like kegs and stuff, so it was like the bottom of the barrel, literally. You had other terms. They say there was terms, so there was a law passed called the Raines Law. At one point, you had to serve food here to serve out. Yeah, but they didn't want to make food. They didn't want a kitchen or anything. So they would actually, like there were famously, they made a brick sandwich. So you couldn't eat like 2 pieces of bread and a brick in the middle. Just kind of like as an FU. Keep it PG.
That's smart. Is that why they give out like peanuts and stuff now at bars?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question. But there are still some bars that serve, little types of food.
Like little things, yeah.
Because of that.
It's
So you
interesting.
see here, more fancy hotels. There's a standard hotel.
Yep.
We have over here so now we're getting to Cooper Union. This is the honors college here. Fancy, like less than 1,000 students. Free tuition.
Really?
Yes, if you get in, one of the most competitive colleges in the country, actually,
Wow.
because of that. And it was started by that guy, Peter Cooper.
Nice.
As you can tell, he was, he was an inventor. He made, gelatin, helped invest in the first transatlantic cable. He helped invent the first locomotive. Then he started this with his money as like an honors college. He was also obviously a pioneer in disgusting neck beards.
Oh yeah.
As you can tell. But yeah, so anyways, I think we can stop here, man, because so anyways, this is the end of the Bowery. It splits off here and it becomes 4th Avenue over here and 3rd Avenue here. Remember, elevated railway. There's an elevated railway until like the 1950s, man. In fact, if you watch that movie On the Bowery, you still see the elevated railway. It's pretty cool. So that made it kind of dumpy because no one wanted to be under all the soot and like shade and shady figures. Hello. So yeah, pretty cool. That was Bowery. That was it. One of the most famous streets. If you've never heard of it, man, you're missing out. It's like right there with Broadway. It's like a historic street here in New York. So yeah, anyways, that's it. Phil, what'd you think? Did you learn something?
Learned so
We got
much
rained on. It was just really weird. We had to take a 5-hour break, stay under an awning for 5 hours.
We care about this
We begged
so much.
begged for change and meals. We had to scrounge. But yeah, we care. That's right. So anyways, that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, like and subscribe, all that crud, and check out Patreon, baby. Come on, it's a new world. Other than that, I don't know. Am I missing anything, Phil?
No, I think we're good.
I think we did it, man. I think we did it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking around. See y'all later. Sick. Yeah. All right.